You're driving down endless Texas highways, expecting cranes, chaos, and sold signs everywhere. For 3 years, headlines screamed that the Texas miracle was unstoppable. But roll down the window, and something feels wrong. The streets are quiet. For sale signs linger. Homes sit empty. The air isn't just heavy with heat, it's thick with anxiety from homeowners watching their equity disappear. The boom that pulled millions from California and New York has slammed into a brick wall. Today, we're taking a data-driven road trip through 10 Texas towns where the collapse is unfolding fast, mostly far from the big cities. Stay tuned, because number 1 was once the hottest market in America. Like, subscribe, and comment, is Texas real estate a buy or a bust? Number 10 Denison. When fringe markets crack first, we begin this road trip near the Oklahoma border, pulling into Denison, a town that was once marketed as a quiet, affordable escape from the chaos of North Texas. At first glance, it still looks peaceful. But as you drive deeper into the neighborhoods just off Highway 75, the cracks become impossible to ignore. For sale signs line the streets, some so sun-faded they look permanent. This market didn't collapse overnight, it slowly suffocated under the weight of overbuilding that the local economy was never strong enough to support. According to data from the Texas A&M Real Estate Research Center, active inventory in Denison has surged more than 40% year-over-year, flooding a market with a limited buyer pool. Homes that once sold in days are now sitting idle. Redfin data shows the median days on market has climbed past 65 days, a shocking reversal from the pandemic frenzy. Sellers are no longer in control here. Nearly 32% of all active listings have already cut prices, many of them multiple times, as owners scramble to stay ahead of a falling market. The stress isn't just visible, it's measurable. Foreclosure filings in Grayson County are up 15%, a warning sign that investors who bought rentals expecting easy cash flow are now underwater. Rent growth has stalled, expenses are rising, and the math no longer works. Mortgage applications in this zip code are down roughly 20%, confirming that high interest rates have crushed demand in this fringe market. As you pass empty open houses and dark windows, the desperation is unmistakable. Denison is proof that when the market turns, small towns on the edge feel the pain first, and this is only the beginning. Number 9 Sherman, the city that built homes for jobs that never came. Just a short drive south brings us to Sherman, a town that was supposed to become the next manufacturing powerhouse of North Texas. The promise was massive semiconductor plants, thousands of high-paying jobs, and unstoppable growth. But the housing market didn't wait for reality to arrive. Builders raced ahead, carving out sprawling subdivisions for workers who never showed up. As you drive along the outskirts of town, the scale of the mistake becomes clear. Rows of newly built homes sit eerily quiet, driveways empty, streets unfinished. According to Realtor.com, inventory in Sherman has climbed to its highest level in 5 years, with more than 300 active listings lingering on the market. Prices are no longer rising, they're slipping. The median listing price is down roughly 7% from its 2022 peak, signaling that affordability has hit a hard ceiling. The most telling sign of trouble is builder behavior. Single-family building permits are down 25% year-over-year, showing that even developers now realize they overshot demand. The rental market is cracking too. Vacancy rates for single-family rentals have surged to nearly 8%, crushing investors who leveraged heavily to buy into the Sherman hype. Expired listings are stacking up at alarming levels. In just 1 quarter, failed listings jumped 50%, meaning homes are sitting for months and never selling at all. The average sale-to-list price ratio has slipped to 97%, forcing sellers to accept losses just to escape. Sherman is a textbook example of what happens when hype runs ahead of fundamentals. The houses were built. The buyers never came. Number 8 Temple, trapped between 2 cities, continuing south into central Texas, we pull off Interstate 35 and enter Temple, a city positioned perfectly on paper. Sitting between Waco and Austin, Temple was supposed to benefit from overflow growth, commuters, and steady demand. Instead, that location advantage has quietly turned into a liability. Temple became a dumping ground for overpriced new construction, homes built for buyers who no longer exist. As you drive through the western edges of town, the warning signs are everywhere. Brand new starter homes line the streets, but at night, entire blocks remain dark. These houses aren't waiting for families, they're waiting for price cuts. According to data from the Temple Bellin Board of Realtors, months of inventory have surged to nearly 4.5 months, officially pushing the market into buyer territory. That shift alone signals a major reversal. Prices are no longer holding. The median home price in Temple has posted a near 4% year-over-year decline, erasing a painful chunk of equity for anyone who bought near the peak with minimal money down. Closed sales are collapsing as well, falling 18% compared to last year, confirming that buyers are stepping back while sellers pile up. Builders are now in full retreat. Incentives worth up to $20,000, including closing cost credits and mortgage rate buydowns, are being quietly offered just to move inventory. Even with those concessions, homes continue to sit. The list-to-sale price ratio for new builds has slipped to 96%, a clear sign of capitulation behind closed doors. The stress is spreading beneath the surface. Foreclosure filings in Bell County have risen 10% in just 6 months. Short-term rental investors are panicking too, with Airbnb occupancy dropping below 55%, destroying cash flow projections overnight. Temple isn't crashing in isolation, it's signaling that instability is spreading down the I-35 corridor. Number 7 Killeen. When military stability fails, just next door lies Killeen, home to Fort Cavazos, one of the largest military installations in the world. For decades, this base created the illusion of permanent housing stability. Investors believed soldiers guaranteed endless rental demand. That assumption fueled a buying frenzy, and now the consequences are unfolding fast. As you drive through Killeen, rental signs appear on nearly every block. The market is drowning in supply. Local MLS data shows that active listings have more than doubled, jumping 110% from the lows of 2022. This sudden flood has crushed prices. The median sale price is now down 6% year-over-year, a sharp decline for a market that historically resisted downturns. Homes here are sitting longer than ever. The average days on market has stretched to nearly 70 days, a brutal shift from the rapid-fire sales of just 2 years ago. Even more concerning is what's happening behind the scenes. VA loan distress is rising as sellers attempt loan assumptions and short sales just to escape low-rate mortgages they can no longer afford. Local title companies report a 20% increase in short sale inquiries, often a precursor to a foreclosure wave. Rental conditions are deteriorating fast. Rents have fallen roughly 5%, wiping out investor cash flow while taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs continue to climb. Bidding wars are completely gone. Homes selling above list price have effectively dropped to zero. Killeen proves a critical lesson: even markets built on guaranteed demand can break. When supply overwhelms reality, no base, no paycheck, and no promise can stop the collapse. Number 6 Midland. Oil town greed meets reality. We now take a long detour west, cutting through endless stretches of scrubland before arriving in Midland, an oil town built on boom and bust cycles. Volatility is nothing new here. What is new is a housing collapse unfolding even while oil prices remain relatively stable. This isn't an energy crash, it's a pricing delusion finally meeting reality. As you drive through Midland, the contradiction is striking. Dusty streets are lined with luxury new builds priced for executives and peak cycle optimism. But the buyers aren't there. According to data from the Permian Basin Board of Realtors, inventory for homes priced above $500,000 has surged by 35% year-over-year, freezing the high-end market completely. Sellers who assumed oil money would always show up are now stuck chasing a falling market. The broader numbers confirm the shift. Midland's median home price has slid roughly 5%, a painful reversal for recent buyers who stretched to the top of the market. Days on market have ballooned to 55 days, the longest stretch seen in years. Sales volume has slowed to a crawl, with fewer than 200 homes sold last month across the entire county. The rental market, once Midland's safety valve, is also breaking. Rents in several neighborhoods have dropped 10% or more as oilfield workers opt for cheaper temporary housing. That collapse has gutted investor cash flow. Foreclosure activity is now climbing, with Midland and Ector counties reporting a 12% increase in bank repossessions. The most alarming signal is builder behavior. Single-family permits have fallen 40%, an unmistakable vote of no confidence. When builders stop building in a town that survives on growth, the collapse is no longer coming, it's already underway. Number 5 New Braunfels. America's fastest growth turns toxic, heading back toward the I-35 corridor, we arrive in New Braunfels, a town known for river floats, German heritage, and hill country charm. For years, it was also one of the fastest-growing cities in the entire United States. That explosive growth became its greatest weakness. From the highway, the damage is impossible to miss. Thousands of new homes were built at a national scale, betting on endless migration and low interest rates. When rates jumped, demand vanished overnight. According to the Four Rivers Association of Realtors, active listings in New Braunfels have exploded by nearly 150% compared to just 2 years ago. Supply didn't just rise, it overwhelmed the market. Prices are paying the price. The median home value has fallen roughly 8% from its peak, wiping out most pandemic-era gains. Builders are in full panic mode, offering incentives of up to $30,000 in closing costs and rate buydowns. Yet homes continue to sit empty. The resale market is being crushed under this pressure. Existing homeowners can't compete with builder incentives, causing pending sales to plunge 22% year-over-year. The list-to-sale price ratio has slipped to 95%, forcing immediate losses on sellers. Shadow inventory is rising fast, homes pulled from the market after failing to sell. That hidden supply is up 30%, masking the true depth of the glut. Meanwhile, soaring property taxes in Como County are bleeding owners dry every month. In New Braunfels, the mood has shifted from optimism to endurance. This isn't a short correction. The pain here is settling in for the long haul. Number 4, Denton, the investor exodus. We continue north into the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex, pulling into Denton, a college town that was widely believed to be immune from housing downturns. Universities, students, and rental demand were supposed to provide a permanent safety net. But Denton's collapse isn't being driven by students, it's being driven by investors rushing for the exits. During the pandemic boom, Denton became a feeding ground for institutional buyers. Homes were snapped up in bulk, often sight unseen, pushing prices to unsustainable levels. That artificial demand has now vanished. According to North Texas Real Estate Information Systems, housing supply in Denton has climbed to 3.8 months, the highest level seen in over a decade. Inventory isn't just rising, it's rewriting the market structure. One of the most critical warning signs is price per square foot. That metric has officially turned negative, falling 3% year-over-year, signaling that underlying property values are declining regardless of size or upgrades. Active listings are up 45%, flooding buyers with options while demand remains constrained by high interest rates. The investor retreat is dramatic. In 2021, nearly 1 in 4 homes in Denton was purchased by investors. Today, that number has collapsed to less than 1 in 10. That exodus has removed the price floor that kept values elevated. As a result, price cuts are everywhere. Roughly 35% of active listings now carry reductions, many after sitting for weeks without a single showing. Deals are also falling apart late in the process. Contract cancellations have surged to 15%, meaning buyers are walking away at the closing table due to financing failures or fear of overpaying. Homes are sitting an average of 58 days, growing stale and stigmatized. Denton proves a brutal truth: when investors leave, the illusion of safety disappears, and the floor drops out fast. Number 3, Round Rock, suburban carnage and the insurance trap. Approaching Austin's northern edge, we arrive in Round Rock, once the crown jewel of Texas tech migration. Fueled by Dell's legacy and remote work hype, this suburb became one of the most overvalued housing markets in the country. The correction here has been swift and unforgiving. Inventory in Round Rock has surged by over 400% from pandemic lows, creating a massive supply shock. According to the Austin Board of Realtors, median home prices are now down nearly 12% year-over-year, one of the steepest declines in Texas. Homes are sitting for 72 days on average, a stunning reversal from the bidding wars that once defined the area. Mortgage originations have collapsed by 30%, signaling a near-total freeze in buyer activity. Foreclosures are creeping back, with Williamson County reporting rising monthly filings. Sellers are accepting offers at just 94% of list price, locking in painful losses. Number 2, Conroe, growth turns against itself east of Houston. Conroe tells a different but equally devastating story. Once the fastest-growing city in America, it expanded too fast, carving subdivisions into dense forest without considering long-term affordability. Now, many of those neighborhoods stand half-empty. Inventory has climbed to a 4.2-month supply, shifting all leverage to buyers. Builders are sitting on over 3,000 vacant finished homes, overwhelming the resale market. Foreclosures in Montgomery County have jumped 22% year-over-year, driven by affordability breakdowns and soaring insurance costs. Insurance premiums here have risen nearly 50%, pushing monthly payments beyond reach. Combined with high rates and oversupply, Conroe has entered a perfect storm, one that confirms the collapse is no longer isolated. It's systemic. Number 1. Waco, the hype capital finally breaks. We end this road trip in the heart of the I-35 corridor, pulling into Waco, the city that became a national symbol of real estate hype. For years, the Magnolia effect transformed this once quiet market into a speculative playground. Investors flooded in, convinced that every aging bungalow could be flipped into a short-term rental goldmine. But as you drive past the famous silos and into surrounding neighborhoods, the illusion has collapsed. The TV magic is gone, replaced by empty homes and mounting financial stress. Waco now represents the peak of the speculative bubble, and the crash here is leading the state. Inventory has surged aggressively across multiple zip codes, rising by nearly 60% year-over-year in some areas. Streets are lined with renovated cottages that were never meant for local buyers, they were built for tourists who stopped coming. The short-term rental market has reached full saturation, and occupancy rates have plunged, forcing desperate investors to list properties all at once. The damage is visible in the sales data. Homes in Waco are now sitting for an average of over 80 days, the longest timeline we've seen on this entire journey. Price cuts are no longer the exception, they're the rule. More than 35% of active listings have already undergone significant reductions as sellers chase a falling market. The median home price, inflated by out-of-state hype, is correcting sharply, erasing years of artificial gains. The real danger, however, is what comes next. Many investors bought here at the absolute top using leverage, counting on Airbnb income that no longer exists. As cash flow dries up, foreclosure filings in McLennan County are accelerating faster than the state average. The fixer-upper fantasy has officially turned into negative equity and forced exits. Waco proves a brutal truth: when a market is built on hype instead of fundamentals, collapse isn't a possibility, it's inevitable. As this Texas road trip comes to an end, the view through the windshield tells a clear story. The era of easy equity is over. Inventory is rising, prices are falling, and the Texas miracle is unraveling town by town. If you want to stay ahead of what's coming next, like this video, share it with anyone thinking of moving to Texas, and subscribe for real data, not hype. And tell us in the comments, which state should we drive through next? Because this story isn't ending here. What we've seen across Texas isn't a theory, it's already happening. Rising inventory, falling prices, and homeowners trapped by decisions made at the peak. The days of easy equity and instant appreciation are gone, and the next phase of this housing cycle will catch unprepared buyers and investors off guard. If you want to stay ahead of these market shifts with real data, not headlines, hit the like button to support our research, subscribe so you never miss a housing update, and share this video with anyone considering a move or investment right now. And drop a comment below telling us which state you want us to investigate next, because this road trip across America's housing market is far from over.